Yo, y'all know what time it is, man. It's Kanye coming to you all the way live. Your favorite country cousin, your favorite Mississippian, and your best friend. You are now tuned in to Mental Shampoo and Audio Experience Plus More. I am excited to have y'all back in the building. Shout out to everybody who's been tuning in with your boy. It has been a beautiful ride being able to have these conversations, these monologues in video and audio form, but then have these conversations through text and calls and in person for those who have been seeing me from time to time. I really appreciate y'all, man, and it continues to motivate me to continue going on with the go on. All right, we are in Chapter 9. Chapter 9, ladies and gentlemen. One more chapter to go. Working on a 10-piece, and I'm going to tell y'all something. My biggest thing was to be consistent. And I congratulate both myself and my teammate, Miss Amanda, for us being consistent in such a way to be able to produce content for one and just become better people in the process for real. Because, you know, we become better by default when, you know, we are consistent with things, right? And it keeps my head on a swivel because I'm having to come up with different topics weekly. Right? So this week's topic, we're going to be, Amanda say we'll be talking the bag talk today. I say it's going to be a bag, all right. So chapter 9, we're going to title this one, The Wealth Cure. All right? The Wealth Cure. Now, when you hear wealth, you may automatically think about money. Sure, we're going to talk about money a little bit, but I'm naming this chapter after a book that I read by one of my favorite actors and authors by the name of Hill Harper. All right? Hill Harper has a book called The Wealth Cure. I read that book some years ago. Now, when I first purchased that book, I was learning more about money. I probably got that book in 2014, 2015. I was learning more about money, learning to manage my money better, learning to budget my money and things of that nature. So the title alone caught my attention. And I was a fan of Hill Harper after the book led us to a young brother. And I also gifted my little sister, my baby sister, the book led us to a young sister. So, when he came out with that book, I'm like, yeah, got to grab it, see what he's talking about with his money thing, see what I can learn from him about money. And as I was reading this book, y'all, he touched on money, sure, but he more so touched on the wealth of being, like being an individual, being a person, right? How can we grow in wealth by taking better care of ourselves? So that's what we're going to talk about with that today. The most important thing, and I believe I've shared this before, self-love is the very first romance. I'm sure I did in the Mystery of Love, chapter 8, the previous chapter. But self-love is the very first romance. When we learn to love ourselves more, to manage ourselves better, manage our time better, that alone can bring us to a bigger bag, if you will, and becoming rich within oneself. So starting with health is wealth, right? I'm going to tell y'all this story in regards to gaining wealth in health, okay? I'm 31, as y'all know, as I've mentioned. When I was 24, 25, I was motivated not by those on Instagram or on social media, because I started finding people after I got deeper into, you know, activity and eating better and all of these things. But who motivated me the most to get on a better health kick in my life was my father, all right? God bless those who rest. My dad was very sickly for years. I remember one year he was in the ER multiple times in 1 year. And you know, before he passed on last year, when that happened some years ago, I'm like, man, I'm about to lose my dad because, you know, he had a lot of things going on, shortness of breath already. He had to sleep with the face mask on to get, get proper breathing, the breathing machine, whatever that's called. I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but he had to sleep with that, right? Being obese, you know what I mean? Having diabetes, having the same disease that his father, my grandfather, passed from, sarcoidosis, right? My dad had a lot going on health-wise and still wanted to, like, eat some of the things that he was eating, drink. The Coca-Cola was his drink. Still drinking Coca-Cola, you know what I mean? Still having a lot of saturated fats and fried foods and things of that nature. And, like, when I would try to approach him as I was learning more about things with food and whatnot, I would try to have those conversations, and he would get upset. So after a while, I just stopped having the conversation, because at the end of the day, a person has to want to be better health-wise, in whatever other area, right? That person has to choose to want better. But my dad was my biggest motivation and influence, because not only was he sick a lot, but a lot of individuals on my father's side of my family, a lot of them dealt with different illnesses, right? And it's like, I don't want to be like that, right? When I'm older, like, let me get a hold of things now, right? So that I can be cool later. Again, like, most people my age, they kind of let themselves go in terms of weight. I'm still pretty lean out here in these streets. I'm super active, and we'll talk about activity in a minute. But that's where my wealth journey started, right? With exercising more, eating better foods, learning about foods. There's a book that I have talking about eating according to your blood type. I'm B positive. Like, a lot of people don't even know what their blood type is. Y'all know what's going on with your body, okay? Like, I saw a post recently that read a detox is like a tune-up for the body. All right, a detox is a tune-up for the body. We make sure that our cars are good. We make sure that we got the flyest outfits, the dopest kicks, all of these things. You know what I mean? But how are you internally, like health-wise? How often do you go and get checkups, men and women, right? I get an annual physical. And every time I go, the doctor's like, Mr. Kane, like, I don't know why you here for real, but, you're as healthy as can be. Like, okay, let me just get that reassurance by coming here every year. You do your job, right? And I continue to do my job in terms of taking care of myself, okay? But y'all, get these checkups. I love it when I hear a young lady say she's going to see the OBGYN, or she's going to get a mammogram, or whatever the case may be. Like, and she can be healthy. Like, I have a good friend, shout out to Brittany out there in Atlanta. She's healthy, but she makes sure that she goes to see her doctor. It's important. You know what I mean? A lot of us, when I say us, I'm talking to black folks right now. Like, a lot of us are afraid of hospitals and doctors, right? But we got to get out of that, because they can assist us in a big way in terms of letting us know what, is going on with our bodies. I'll tell you this, and this is a good transition. I recently was in the ER about a month ago, for real. And this is what I was letting some stress get to me. I usually don't let nothing stress me out. But in this instance, like, I was being stressed out a little bit. And it went from my mind worrying about it to affecting my body, to where I thought I had a stroke, for real. Talk about opening up. All right, so here's what happened. I ended up going to bed. I was already restless. I wasn't getting the proper sleep, right? And when it comes to not getting that rest, like, you can't function as you need to, okay? Went to bed late again, probably like 12 something. I wake up at 4 every morning on the weekday. So I'm only it takes me about 30 minutes to an hour to actually fall asleep. So really, I got about 3 hours of sleep. But even within that, right, I ended up waking up around 1 o'clock or something like that, 1 o'clock, something like that. And I woke up because I felt like my left arm was tingling, right? And I felt like my left side of my face being numb, and I had a nice little headache going on. I'm like, man, what is going on with me, right? And I did the stroke test. You put out your arms like so, and if one of your arms drops or whatever the case may be, that means that you are having or have had a stroke. My arms were good though, right? So I'm like, so it's not a stroke, right? I went to the bathroom and looked myself in the mirror, make sure my face wasn't drooping or nothing like that. I couldn't feel nothing on the left side of my face, and my ear was beginning to clog up. So I'm like, what is going on with me, right? So I'm like, man, I just sleep it off. I ain't think go to the hospital right away, right? But after I woke up a second time, about after an hour of getting some sleep, I was awakened again by the pain and tingling in my left arm. And this time it was worse. So I'm like, man, okay. I got up again, splashed some water in my face, and then I had went back to sleep. The next day, I was already off from work because I had a dental appointment, right? And after the dental appointment, I hit my sister like, I think I'm gonna need to go to the clinic or something, see what's going on with me. So I go to the clinic and I let them know what's going on. I had chest pains. I let them know what's going on with my arm. I couldn't feel my arm. Oh, the second time I got up, I literally couldn't feel my arm. Like I had got my right hand and tried to like just squeeze my left arm a little bit, couldn't feel nothing. So I'm like, yeah, I need to go see the doctor. So the clinic said that I should go to the ER. I got my x-rays and all that, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, I was good. They did say an early sign of carpal tunnel. So I've been like, and that's for me holding my phone for real. Like, so I'm breaking the habit now. A lot of us hold our phone with the bottom of our pinky, and that starts to hurt. And then, like, your palm, the back of your hand, it begins to hurt a little bit. So it's like, yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of what the young doctor was saying is an early sign of carpal tunnel. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely about to stop holding my phone like that and then work my hands out a little more to prevent that, right? Because I'm seeing younger people with the little glove on to help with carpal tunnel. It's like, yo, I'm not trying to be that. So I got the word from the doctor. Let me do my part, again, making that decision. Let me do my part, right, so that I can take better care of myself, my health, my wealth. Okay, but long story short, I got my results back. My x-ray was good. I'm healthy. I'm healthy as can be. But that is a prime example of what stress can do to the body. All right, y'all, let's not think ourselves sick. Control the controllables. If you can't control it, change how you are perceiving or receiving whatever circumstance or situation that you were dealing with. Okay, because worrying will not add a single hour to your life. All right, your life is your life. The time that you have has already been decided by God. If you believe in that kind of thing, right? I understand everybody may not have the same belief or believe it all, but that's like worrying will not add a single hour to your life. Understand and know that. Understand, overstand, however you want to stand. Okay. So yeah, that's when I learned too. Like, all right, I already don't let stuff stress me out. Why did I let this stress me out? That's where the mirror talk comes in, right? The self-reflection comes in, and it's like, yo, if stuff gonna break me down like this, we don't ever want to do that again. So back to the activity, or my pops motivated me to work out, things like that. This is when I noticed that I was starting to let myself go. A lot of stuff we don't necessarily see right away, all right? But when I started to work out even the more, okay, I was doing more cardio. I was lifting moderate weights. I was already kind of a big dude. I was focused on weights in my earlier 20s. I had gotten big. My arms I was bigger than what I am. Like now, I'm a solid 200 pounds lean, like very low percent on body fat. But I had more muscle back then when I was concentrating on lifting weights. But this go around, I was more concentrated on cardio. I was eating trash foods, and here's the beautiful thing about working out. I say working out, but I'm going to switch it, and I'm going to say activity, because a lot of people have a love-hate relationship when you say workout or exercise. So I'll say activity or active. When I became more active, that's when I was like, oh, I can't be eating this trash every day. Not no more like I was eating fried food like every day, right? And I knew better too, but this is what I'm choosing to eat every day. And I already stopped drinking like sodas and stuff. You know, if I have a taste for a soda, it'll be something clear like a Sprite or a ginger ale. Most times it's ginger ale. But, you know, after being active for some time with cardio and calisthenics, my plate got better. And when my plate got better, I started to feel better. Like, listen, y'all, when you change your plate, you feel better mentally. Food has mood. Food determines how you feel. Food determines your mood. Okay? So if you're constantly eating all these bad foods, you're going to constantly be in a bad mood or a depressive mood or an angry mood, right? And life is too short for any of that. Of course, feel what you feel in that time of feeling, right? It's the human experience nonetheless, but we can't stay there. So that's why I'm so encouraged. Like, you know, I drink my water, you know what I mean? I make my tea, my loose leaf tea, put it in a tea ball, let it steep, you know what I mean, for about a good 20, 30 minutes and sip some goodness, okay? You know, if I'm out of tea, I'll put some black pepper and some warm water and some cumin and squeeze a fresh lime in that joint. Like, yeah. People say that eating healthy pretty much is boring, right? But it's not. Like, especially if it's going to help you live a better life. You know what I mean? Like, I've shared my thoughts on alcohol and my struggle with alcohol in a video from last summer. You know, alcohol is nothing but sugar, y'all. Like, every now and then I'll indulge when it comes to, like, certain occasions and celebrations. But I'm not doing that as much as I used to. And I was feeling a void with it before because, again, I've been vocal about this, and that's my social anxiety. I felt like alcohol made me more sociable. You know, I felt like it would ease my mind to help me be more social, right? But it's only a mind thing. And when we get better up here, we'll get better everywhere else. All right, so change your diet, you know, drink more water. Look, I forgot the percentage, but we like 90% or something water. You know, you can drink water. Some people don't like the taste of water, but if you're not going to drink the water, at least eat your water. What? Eat your water. Your fruits and vegetables have water in them. All right? Drink your tea. Your tea is made up of, you know, your hot water. You know, drink a cup of coffee. You know, don't drink too much coffee because all that caffeine, you can develop kidney stones. And you don't want that. All right. I've never experienced it, but I've seen people that have had kidney stones. And from their experience, they say it hurts really bad because you really have stones tucked away in your kidneys and you're pissing it out. You know what I'm saying? And you're pissing out rocks. So I can imagine that hurts. So you got to be mindful of that, man. Be mindful of that. Y'all, let's take care of ourselves. You know, your relationship with God. Again, it's a lot of stuff that I've learned. I don't even, this might push some needles and make some hands on chest with the drawback, but I don't even consider myself to be Christian anymore because of all the things that I've learned about Christianity. But I do believe in the Bible. I do believe in Christ, okay? But all that to say, look, your relationship with God, that's important. All right, or higher power, or, you know, I don't necessarily like when people say the universe because God created the universe, right? But again, who am I, right? I'm not to be judgmental, you know. He without sin cast the first stone, right? I have no room to throw no stones, and neither do you, okay? Do what works for you, all right? And that's just how the cookie crumbles. But make sure your spiritual life also is intact, because that also is a part of your wealth bag. Get into the bag. That is the cure when it comes to wealth, all right? The wealth cure, if you will. Like, take care of yourself spiritually, take care of yourself physically, be mindful of what you're putting into your body. And again, scripture, faith comes by hearing. What are you listening to, right? What are you watching, okay? I know a lot of y'all love the shade room, and this is no shade, pun intended, to the shade room. But they post a lot of toxic shit, and that's why a lot of folks are messed up and believe certain things because of certain things that are posted on the internet, certain things that are happening in certain communities. Like, you got some folks that have no choice to get involved in some of the things that are going on in their neighborhoods and whatnot. But some people fight to really get out of that because that moral compass is steering them in a different direction. Right? But yeah, man, let's make sure we're good. That's ultimately what I'm trying to say to y'all. Let's make sure that we are good on all levels. Okay. Back to the activity portion with me working out. What made me know that this stuff was working, because I didn't realize that I was getting chubby. I've never been like fat. For real, right? But I was starting to get a little loose. I was getting a little chubby. My face was a little, no matter how lean I get, I'm going to always have a chubby face. I'm going to always have these high cheeks, big cheeks. So, but they was getting a little more fluffier up there. You know what I mean? And I saw this, I was still living in Atlanta, and my homegirl was like, Keywan, you looking good, man. Like, what you been doing? I say, just running every day, some calisthenics here and there, running every day, push-ups, light stuff. You know what I mean? And she was like, keep it up. Like, you look good. And that was my motivation to even go harder. I was doing it for me, but then it's like, when you're able to get a compliment like that, that's motivation. Let's stop acting like we don't get motivated when we get validated. You know what I'm saying? She validated me and reassured me in that moment, and that was motivation for me to keep doing what I'm doing. Like, I jump rope every morning before I go to work. I was discussing my morning routine with a friend of mine recently, and I said I wake up in the morning, 4 o'clock every morning, as I mentioned. I read me a scripture. If I got time, I read. You know what I'm saying? And I listen to some jazz. Jazz is my favorite genre. Jazz calms me out, mellows me out. We don't want to just wake up in the morning and go straight to work. Like, nah, like, give yourself some time to be with yourself, okay? We give a lot of our time up to our jobs and our friends and our family. Where's your time? Like, you hear a lot of women talk about me time. Hey, fellas, we need some me time too. A lot of us have our man caves where we can go in and just relax in our domain that way, but we need that me time also. All right. So make sure you're taking care of yourself in that area. And when it comes to activity, I remember working out one day in the neighborhood, west side of Atlanta. I'm outside my house and I'm doing my warm-ups. I'm stretching, have my shirt off, feeling myself. Right. So a car with a couple of young ladies in it. They were a little older, probably like in their 40s or something, 50s. And she thought I was a trainer. Right. And she was like, do you train? I say, no, ma'am. I said, I just like to work out. I like how it makes me feel. The look is just the icing on the cake. Right. And she was like, do you have any tips? Right. And I told her, I said, whatever you got I'm not going to sit here and tell you to throw everything away. Right? I'm not going to sit here to tell you just throw everything away automatic. First and foremost, eat all of that because you paid your money for it. We do things in portions, and as things dwindle down, don't go re-up on that stuff. Get the healthier options. It's a slow process, right? This is a lifelong commitment for real. You know what I'm saying? Like, we girls be trying to get their waist snatched for a certain dress, and then after that, what happens after that? You going to gain the weight back? Guys, don't just try to get into a suit or a tux for that moment. Like, come on. I like how I look in a suit when I throw that suit on because I put the hard work in. I don't even weigh myself like that because I know I'm going to be anywhere between 190 and 200. Most times I'm 190 in the summer because, of course, it's hotter. You know what I mean? You're sweating more, right? But when I get up to 200, it's still lean. It's still like, I don't have like the washboard abs like I want, but I got some decent work down there. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. And I stopped letting the look, like I said, I stopped letting the look be the motivation. Because at first, when I was first lifting, it was more so about the look versus feeling good. Now I just want to feel good. I incorporate different things too, like start out light, go for a walk, do some beginner yoga, things of that nature. Listen to a podcast, not the crazy rap or whatever the case may be. Now, granted, of course, y'all, yes, I listen to rap. Guilty as charged. But you have to manage what are you listening to and the times that you listen to it. It's a bad habit to get up in the morning, go straight to your phone and get on social media. Speaking on myself, I know you do it too, right? We got to stop that. I purposely will put my cell phone far away from me some nights so that I'm not up looking at it, you know, during the night until I fall asleep. Because, like, the more that you allow light into your eyesight, the harder it is going to be for you to go to sleep. You know, shout out to Sean Stevenson. Never met the brother, but he's one of my online mentors on YouTube because he actually studies sleep. All right? Sleep, my friends. Sleep. Get y'all some sleep. We saw what happened with Rick Ross because he wasn't getting the proper sleep, had seizures, all right? And he was already overweight, already eating bad, and drinking heavily, you know, and that caused seizures. Big ups to the big God for developing a human body in such a way that we can withstand a lot of the negative, bad, and, you know, all the damage that we put on ourselves, right? The body is able to heal itself. Our body, we get new cells all the time. But what are we doing with these new cells? It was a study in a book called Spark. It was a case study in that book that talked about a school in Illinois, not Chicago, but it was one of them cities like close to Chicago. And what happened was, they looked at the test scores of these babies. They saw that the test scores wasn't that great. When they incorporated more exercise with these babies, the babies then started to do better in the class as well as on their tests, on the state tests and things of that nature. Being active not only helps you in how you look, but it also helps you to perform better. And what can help you to perform better is getting better sleep. Better quality of sleep. It's not even about the length of sleep, if you will, because you can be asleep but not be rested. I have definitely experienced that, where I have gotten 7 hours of sleep and still wake up dog tired because what I may have consumed the night before or the day before is constantly running through my mind subconsciously, right? But that's why you got to be purposeful with what you're listening to and watching and the times that you're watching it. Y'all, stop watching TV so late at night. Stop watching YouTube, speaking to myself. Stop watching YouTube so late at night. You can watch that same video tomorrow. You know what I mean? I've been indulging in the stuff that I'm interested in and learning how to do, like public speaking. I watch a lot of TED Talks. You know what I mean? I look at their presentation. I look at how they deliver their stories and their topics. You know, I'm studying that game because I look to be in that space, right? But it's like, my guy, that video will be there tomorrow. I like learning about wine. I found a black brother, Andre Mack, who breaks down wines. I'm like, yo, I've been binging a lot of his stuff. But hey, Kane, that video will be there. Go to sleep. You got to get up at 4 o'clock and prepare for work. That stuff is going to be there. Like on the weekends, I allow myself to sleep in a little bit longer. Like I'm a natural early bird. So I know I'm still going to be up, you know, no later than 7 o'clock, right? But I try to get my sleep in. I sleep in on weekends. But I hope y'all picking up what I'm putting down. Sleep is important. Your diet is important. You know, your spirit, your heart, your headspace, all of those things are important. That helps us to be a better being, a better human being while we experience the human experience, okay? Let's see. I've touched everything. I knew this was gonna be like a short, simple, and to the point chapter. What I want y'all to do, drink more water. That's my challenge to you. Cut out the sodas. Cut out the sodas. Cut out the sodas. Okay. Also, the wealth cure. Have hard conversations, because when you have these conversations, you're able to take a load off. Okay. You're able to take a load off. You dig what I'm saying? So you have to have the hard conversations. Stop. In the name of love, stop holding stuff in. Iyanla Vanzant talks about, again, don't think yourself sick and don't hold things in. She was holding so much in that she became ill enough to where a situation like mine, where she had to go to the hospital. Thank God I didn't have to have surgery. She actually had to have surgery. All right. You know, as a man thinketh, so is he. More scripture. You know, if you are overwhelmed with things, take deep breaths. Layla Hathaway has a song called Breathe. In the chorus, a part of that, she says, remember to breathe. Take time out to breathe. If you don't go for a walk, if you don't jump rope, if you don't do calisthenics and lift weights like myself, the least you can do is do some deep breathing activity. All right? You are needed. Your voice is needed. Your voice is needed. My voice is needed. Amanda's voice is needed. Everybody's voice is needed. We need you here for as long as we can have you here. Okay? You have something in you. Unfortunately, we got another death on our hands in the rap community. Young Dolph. God bless those who rest. Okay? Senseless killings. Okay? Like, I challenge my brothers more specifically. Take a look at your brother dead in the eye and show love versus jealousy and envy and hate. Okay? We need each other. Hug your brother. Kiss your mother. Okay? Show love and compassion. Show empathy. Show that you're able to resonate and relate to other people. Okay? That's the real wealth. All right? That is real wealth. Money, cool. It's great. The fact of the matter is this. I came across a video on social media where it was like a fishing pole over the head of a person in a suit, and they had the money dangling down in front of them, and they were running, trying to get to the money. That is us, man. Life, the best things in life are free. They are free, granted, okay? But also, we have to keep a roof over our head. We have to buy our groceries and things of that nature. But do not let chasing the bag money-wise, do not let that stress you out. Scripture, if God is able to take care of the things that have been placed on the earth, if the ants are not worried, if the birds are not worried, you know, why are we worried? Again, feel what you feel when you feel it, but don't dwell there. You dig what I'm saying? That's real wealth. Health is wealth. Take care of yourself on all levels. Again, challenge y'all selves to fast, drink your water, have the hard conversations, be vulnerable, be open, okay? Go to sleep, man. Go to sleep. You ain't got to hang out every weekend. I know some folks that hang out, Thursday to Tuesday, almost all week. Like, yo, like, and that much consumption of alcohol, I'm scared for your liver. Your liver is like the cleaning process for the rest of your body. And last thing I'm going to say for real, because I can really go on a rant about this, but listen to your body. Your body talks to you. Your gut is your second brain, all right? There's a huge study now in the science world about the microbiome, okay? Make sure you're eating fibrous foods, food that has fiber. Fiber helps you to go. Fiber helps you to grab a newspaper and go sit down in the bathroom for a while. You know what I'm saying? So make sure that y'all are getting the proper vitamins. Get you some sea moss, eat you some fibrous foods, go take you a shit, man. I remember Will Smith talking about he hasn't defecated in like days or weeks on end. It's like, yo, so all that waste is in your body. That can make you sick. That can make you sick, man. Okay, so let's just be mindful, you know, of how we're getting to the bag. Because also Jason Wilson, been following his work lately, and he talks about one of his best friends who unfortunately passed away. This is where the cookie crumbles. This brother took care of himself. He worked out. He ate the right foods, but he grinded his fingers to the bone. He worked like all the time, and putting that much stress on your body, you know, working out does relieve stress. But this gentleman was actually lifting heavy weights. So that's more physical stress on top of the mental stress, emotional stress, whatever the case may be. And that ultimately took him out. He had a heart attack. You know? So even if you're working out and having the right foods, y'all, you can still be mentally unhealthy. You know? So take care of yourself on all levels. All levels. Spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. All of those things. It is your responsibility to fix your life. Nobody's coming to save you, beloved. We can talk all day. I can sit up here and talk about this all day. Literally, I'm a nerd when it comes to this kind of stuff, right? You can listen to this and go back to your regular life, or you can choose to get mad. M-A-D. You can choose to make a decision. You know what I mean? And actually go after a healthier lifestyle for yourself. You know, don't do it just because other people are doing it. Be motivated, you know, but do it for yourself to have longevity so that you can give us more of your gift in this earth while we have you on this earth. You know, eat to live. Don't live to eat. All right. So take care of yourself, man. It's Kanye Kane coming to you all the way live. Your favorite country cousin, your favorite Mississippian, and your best friend. You have just tapped in to Mental Shampoo Chapter 9, The Wealth Cure. All right. It's not all about money. It really starts with you. So take care of you today and forevermore. See y'all on Chapter 10. My friends, salute fire to the Most High. Peace and blessings, love and respect.